Alright guys, welcome along to AFC Game by Game, where in this video I'm going to be talking about Arsenal's Capital One Cup game against West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns. And tonight, after such an enthralling game, the League Cup, wow, what a game we have just seen. I think this game really shows that it was low down on our list of priorities, and that was kind of evident from the lineup. We saw a load of kids starting this game, the likes of Isaac Hayden, Thomas Eiersfeld, and we also saw a surprise return for Nicholas Bendtner. Got a decent reception, and I'm glad to see that because Bendtner has got goals in him and he is a decent player, and he really does need to be getting back on that score sheet if he is going to challenge for a first team spot. We also saw Mikel Arteta get a starting game as he's just come back from injury. Same with Thomas Vermaelen. We also saw a couple of bench players such as Monreal and Jenkinson start the game. Fabianski as well started this ahead of Viviano. Maybe that was an odd choice. I'd have started Viviano for this game as we haven't actually seen him yet. But Fabianski played adequately tonight, and overall it was a really tough game. I mean, we didn't really dominate, and that first half was so scrappy. We saw quite a few yellow cards. I mean, one player that really did stand out for me as an excellent player in the first half was definitely Mikel Arteta. I know he's one of the more experienced players in the squad, but he was looking very sharp in that first half. And another player that deserves an awful lot of credit, Serge Gnabry. Okay, at times he wasn't making the best of runs. He was making a few wrong decisions, but you know, he's 18 years old, for God's sake. It will all come with experience, and he was excellent tonight. He was perfectly adequate for a game like this, and I can't criticise the guy at all. I mean, one thing I think makes him different from Walcott is that he's actually willing to take players on. Okay, maybe if he's not going to get it past the player, at least he's still willing to take them on. That's something Walcott doesn't do, and it shows that the guy is absolutely full of confidence, and this is going to be nothing more than a more confidence-boosting game for the guy. And overall, I'm really happy for Gnabry tonight. I think he played an excellent game of football, but yeah, I still thought our defence was leaky tonight. I thought Vermaelen was pretty poor in the first half. I thought Nacho Monreal was very quiet in the first half as well. One player that also was outstanding tonight, Per Mertesacker. He cleared the ball off the line various times in the second half, and he was very solid throughout the whole game. Got to give a lot of credit to Mertesacker. I thought he was excellent tonight. Jenkinson as well didn't have the best of first halves, but I really think he made up for that in the second half. You can tell he really wants to get that Arsenal goal at some point, and it will be really special to him when he gets it. I'm just hoping he'll get it in a game which is kind of a bit more special than tonight's game. But overall, Jenkinson, all these players, I'm really happy for them, and I'm really glad to see they're actually bringing a bit of youth into the team. But one thing that I maybe would have changed, looking at that bench tonight, we didn't really have an impact player. I mean, the most experienced player on that bench was Matthew Flamini. I'd have maybe had someone like Ozil or someone like Wilshere on the bench just to make an impact in case we were struggling, which I did find we did feel like we were doing in the second half. But we did get a goal to break the ice in the second half, and we really had been dominating from the second half kick-off, and it was a great goal by Thomas Eiersfeld. First of all, a lot of credit has to go to Bendtner for this. Okay, he hadn't had a great first half, Bendtner. Hadn't really done anything to stand out. I mean, his greatest achievement in that first half was running into the goalpost, which, frankly, you know, is a little bit different, a little bit extravagant somewhat, but it was a great ball through by Bendtner to Eiersfeld, who did such a cool finish into the bottom left-hand corner of the net. That little German kid is going to be such a big talent. He's 21 years old. He's going to be massive, and it was a great confidence-boosting goal for him tonight. He played really well. He works really well alongside Arteta, and I'm happy to see him in the squad because I know for a long time we have been yearning to see Eiersfeld in the squad, and he hasn't really had his full chance to shine yet, and I think he really got that tonight. So really happy for Eiersfeld, and even more happy for him to get a goal. But after that, we kind of sat back a bit. Again, I said, when we get a lead, we sit back on it. We don't press for another goal, and it was more of the same, sitting back. And yeah, a goal for West Brom looked inevitable, and they got one about 10 minutes later, and I did kind of expect it, and it was kind of just, again, wind out the sails thing, because we didn't really push for a second goal. It kind of looked like we were sitting on that, and well, pretty much we had to ride it out until extra time. And during that extra time period, guess who could have put us 2-1 up right at the start of extra time? The one and only Nicholas Bendtner. Clean through on goal, and what does he do? Spends all the time in the world, and it just gets tackled. It was simple as that, really. That just not good enough from Bendtner. And he didn't have the best of games tonight, like I've already said, and he's got so much to work on, especially that haircut. It's evident that the guy has to improve his fitness, his metabolism, and his work rate, because he simply was not good enough tonight. Alright, he got an assist, and alright, he scored a decent penalty, but you know, this is a Capital One Cup fixture. It's not a Premier League or a Champions League fixture, and he has so much to work on. But that aside, extra time was pretty decent, but you could tell a lot of players were starting to wear out. And we did see a couple of introductions, the likes of Olsen and the likes of Akpom as well. Olsen and Akpom, two players for me that should have started the game. They were excellent when they came on. They were really, really good. Another player that was really good tonight, Hector Bellerin. Absolutely phenomenal. He's willing to take players on. He's going to be another really big player. I can tell with these guys, they just look so confident going forward. Whether in their respective positions, they just look so comfortable. And I'm glad to see these players getting a chance because they really do need a chance to show their talent. But one player that didn't impress me, so I'm going to be honest, wasn't happy with him at all. Ryo Miyaichi tonight just was not good enough. Lots of work down the left hand side. Yeah, he's been out injured for ages, but Ryo was not good enough tonight. And you got to think at this kind of point in his career, is he going to make it at Arsenal? He's about 20 years old. I'd like to say he would, but given tonight's performance, he needs to be a lot more convincing. I want to wish him all the best though, because I really hope he does get better. I think he's got so much talent. I think he's got an awful lot of potential. So Ryo, I wish you all the best, but tonight you really got a lot to work on. Another thing that really annoyed me about tonight was why the hell were we playing Thomas Vermaelen when he's just come back from an injury for 120 minutes? That just seems absolutely ridiculous to me, especially when we have other options in that team. I mean, you could have put someone like Flamini at centre-back just to bring off Vermaelen maybe at some point in that second half, and to play him for 120 minutes. Yeah, he's our captain. Yeah, he had a decent second half. But to be honest, he could have so easily picked up an injury. So could another couple of players. And if we get even more injuries in the squad, then the lack of depth is going to be pathetic. But, you know, it was a decent game tonight. And the penalties, that's something that I'm so not confident on. And, you know, we did all right. Thankfully, the West Brom players kind of mucked up their penalties. A couple of their players missed. And we only missed one through Nabry. But, you know, that aside, he still did have a good game. Glad to see Bentner convert a cool penalty. Glad to see Akpom convert. Monreal with a close to missing penalty. But I'm really happy that we've actually got through this fixture. It's going to give the team a massive morale boost. It's 11 consecutive away wins now, which is just phenomenal. It's absolutely outstanding. And especially with the team that started this game, it's a great win, a great learning curve for the younger players. Chelsea at home, and that's going to be a really tough test. You got a question, are we going to play youth or are we going to play experience in that game? Again, I think it'll be a mix of both, maybe with a couple of bigger names in the squad. But that's quite a way off yet, so let's not get a bit carried away. That is going to be a big game, but we've got a lot more tests before that. So they've pretty much been my thoughts on the game. Like I said, I'm happy that we've got through a great learning curve for a couple of the younger players. I'm really happy that we've actually got to see a couple of the younger players that I believe should have been starting the game. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos, and as always, thank you for watching, guys.